Welcome, everybody, to the Lifted, Lowered, and Confused podcast. We're back today at Tim's garage. Hang on, man. I haven't turned you on yet. I have the power, if I so choose to give it to you.
You may speak.
No. I said where I am extremely lowered in this chair.
Yes, good. Serves you right. Man, so
everybody got a garage but me. God damn it.
Hey, I don't have one yet, buddy.
It's coming though.
It's just still just a bunch of dirt on the ground.
But I have a business out of a shoebox right now. I didn't want to hear it.
It's a shoebox.
I got friends with garages bigger than shops that I've even ever dreamed of opening at this point. So
one day.
One day.
It is nice to have a shop because what should have been a 5-minute deal with the Buick here turned into a 2-day ordeal here.
Could have been a week ordeal in the driveway.
That's true.
It's a true story. So.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
You broke your ass on my car since half of us are out of commission.
If you could just drive by in the morning and just check on me, make sure I'm okay.
Every day.
Make sure I'm out of bed.
Every day, baby. I got you.
You
He broke
okay?
his ass. He also lost your castle nut. Yeah. But, who's counting?
I don't know where that thing ran off to.
It's here. It's here somewhere.
So maybe
it's at Waffle House.
Let's break it down a little bit. Let's do the recap here. So what started this process was a rubbing airbag on the front, right?
Yep. We got Slimology next month, actually.
More of a graze.
I'll be in Indiana 1 month from today. So it's pretty much we had a little rubbing issue on the front, not much, but still wanted to address it. So
it's just enough to be uncomfortable. It wasn't actually causing any damage to the bag.
We wanted to get that addressed before we ran up to Indiana. So
100%.
Tim was gracious enough to allow us to use his garage.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of room.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what happened?
That's a great question, Tim.
I mean, it all runs together.
You have the floor.
Like any car, right? Where you think you're going to pull in and you're going to work on for an hour and you're going to be able to readjust an airbag cup and move it over a little bit and provide.
We literally assume 30 minutes of
maybe grind a little bit of the frame, whatever. We assumed 30 minutes to an hour last night, and it just didn't work out like that.
The passenger side said, nay.
Yeah. I mean, we had our typical issues with the passenger side where bolts were breaking and we broke some studs. We lost some castle nuts.
Patients were flaring.
Yep.
We literally had to remove the bag, the bracket, the whole 9 yards, cut the airline, and pretty much start anew.
And I think the majority of us lost our patience towards the end of the night as well, as you usually do. It gets late and you're working on stuff and car starts working against you.
Yeah.
The night was so bad we ended up at Waffle House.
Oh, Waffle House.
Bad decisions.
Late night, boys.
Mistakes were made.
Bad decisions.
I skipped out on that.
Bad decisions. In fact,
Good decisions.
Yeah.
I finished my meal and I ran to the toilet and I left my credit card on the counter. I said, "No, this real talk. This is not a drill. I'll be right back." And I put my credit card on the receipt so they saw that, and I fucking ran to the bathroom.
Dina, I'm pretty sure from a couple episodes ago, everyone's heard enough poop stories. We're all out on those.
I got a fresh one on deck in case we ever have like a part 2.
Hold it, buddy.
Tim's shop
Part
does
two
not
about the
have
number
running
2?
water.
Part 2 about the number 2.
No. But I think we can all relate to that. I know I've had some projects where I thought were going to be some quick ones that ended up being.
Name one project that went the way it was supposed to. I don't think anybody can.
never do.
I absolutely can't.
never do.
I can't.
I'm going to think of one. Let
Let me know.
Well,
You got 35, 40 minutes.
You got the week. Forget 40 minutes. I'll give you the week. Tell me something that went right that we thought was.
I'll say this: probably the smoothest thing we had is when we ran up to tinker with your glass house, and you and I threw the front end on.
That's true.
That was probably
Which is completely unbelievable because most of the problems you have is because you don't have the right tools, or you're not in the right environment, or things are jacked up. And you guys,
Sometimes
we had
that's all
tools.
it takes is just one little thing off like
We
that.
had tools.
Yeah.
What we didn't have was the parts because the shop in question has changed ownership. We will say we get to talk about that.
you might have to fill that in a little bit for the audience. For sure.
A little bit. We have a podcast dedicated to that coming up. So the shop has changed ownership. In the shop is probably 6 or 7 cars.
Under 3 inches of dust.
Most of them are in the same range of 70s, 80s, Chevys. There's a couple. There's a bubble top like yours. Some other stuff. But needless to say, everything's been stripped off of all these cars. I feel bad for anybody whose car's at that shop right now because we were up there. They didn't know which spindles, which uppers, which lowers were his.
That's true.
They ran over to a pile and said,
They had
fit.
The old
See if these
owner,
fit.
the old owner had started to extend my upper control arms, and they did. Yeah, so I ended up just buying some new uppers from a guy on Facebook Marketplace
Out in Cali, right?
out in Cali. Super nice guy, and had those shipped. I had got all the hardware. I figured out all the sizes. I had all the hardware ready, and so I brought all the tools to match all the hardware. Right. The only thing I had forgot about was I think castle nuts, and I assumed the silly me for assuming I assumed the spindles were laying there by the car. They were not, but we did find some Capri spindles that were loaded.
We apparently have bad habits with castle nuts, man. I don't know
Yeah,
what's
right.
We have when he sent me on, like they were tinkering with it, and I was like, cool, I'm kind of useless. I'll hop in we took the Lincoln up there, or no, was it Lincoln? What did we take?
Debbie's truck.
Debbie's truck. So I'll go run down to the hardware store and grab some. So we ran down I had to make like 3 stops at Car Auto Parts store to get enough castle nuts. But what I do is if we need 1, I buy 3 or 4.
Oh, absolutely.
That way, keep them on deck. So, but of course, they're all at your house.
Yeah.
So.
And the other
Then you can
the
lose
other
them all
thing-
together at one time.
That's it, baby.
The other thing we didn't think about was the coils. I figured the coils would be there. The coils, there's just a pile of coils.
They started throwing coils at us.
Yeah.
Try this one. No, it's too thin. Try that
I
one.
don't know if this
Thankfully-
is parts of like old pile,
This
like
is
old
a-
pile parts of cars, or if we're recycling now.
This
I
was a
don't
story.
really
This
know.
is a story where things went smoothly.
Yes,
It is
It
because,
did.
and thankfully
of
for
it.
some
Doesn't
reason,
sound like
We had 5 options for everything. So
I bought. Well, I went and picked up all the hydraulic components I have because they're no longer going to put hydraulics on the car. We're going to do that. So I went and picked everything up, but somehow, luckily, I think the gods knew that this was going to happen. I forgot the coils were in the front floorboard, along with another surprise.
Yes.
So we ended up using those coils, and everything
surprise.
bolted up easy, nicely. Like everything went pretty
They
smooth.
went well, yeah.
Like whenever we realized we didn't have a part, we looked around, and within 10 minutes, we had the part. The longest thing
we
was him
borrowed
going
it
to,
from
Somebody else.
somebody's gonna have to pay for some shit.
or it
like-
came, or originally came. I think those spindles were on that car.
Yeah, because unfortunately, once the shop changed hands, the projects as they were, even if they were paused for 1, 2, or 4 years, went with the new we'll call management. And it's their problem, and they don't. Of course, they're not the ones that
Yeah.
organized.
And
I will use this term loosely. Organized it or.
There was zero organization.
No, I know. They have,
There were-
there's parts of other cars on top of cars that are being worked on.
There's a pile. There's literally a pile of spindles and uppers and lowers over in the corner. And they said, "quote, go see what will fit on your car and put it on there."
That's ridiculous.
So
And shout out to Dylan and
Yeah.
Jimmy. They're doing the damn thing over there with the cards they were dealt.
yeah,
and
absolutely. So they've been.
And they're pumping some stuff out now.
And
That's been sitting there a long time.
say I can't swear a horrible hand they were dealt.
I was pessimistic.
You were.
You said give the guy
Both
a
of us,
chance.
both
give-
of us, both of
and
us.
for what it's worth, like he's kept true to his word. He set a hard date of June, and the car would have been ready to June. We had some setback. We're changing some stuff up, so the date was pushed back a little bit. But
And that's 100% on me.
They
I pushed it back today, as a matter of fact.
they are on par to do everything they said, and everything that they said they were going to do for Will, they've done.
Yeah.
So
As long as they're crossing
no
their T's and
complaints.
dotting their I's as they
They're
claim they're going
they're
to.
doing a good job.
I mean, that's business 101.
Yeah.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah.
Don't write checks your ass can't cash. Period.
But we'll dive in depth once we have the car back.
Yeah, I'm sure that plenty of stories are going to come out of that car
there'll be
as soon as it
some-
comes
That's
back.
that's at least a 2-parter right there.
Yeah. No, we'll dive in depth with that when we get the car back.
So it's so far from what I've seen, like they've got the car jammed out. Doors were back on it.
Doors are back on it.
So
Yep.
it's getting closer and closer by the day. So
I got to do a warranty claim. I'm trying to do a warranty claim right now on the one of the new door hinges. I bought new door hinges
Okay.
and brought them up to them.
Yep.
They had them powder coated. They put them on. They put the doors on. I opened the door. Everything looked good. Checking out the jams. We're talking about showing it. Closed it, and one of the hinges just broke.
What?
The top one on the passenger side just disintegrated.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I sent the guy I bought them from
How? What-
pictures. I don't know. I'll post pictures
And
of
just
the
and
busted
for those
hinge.
again, we try to give a little tips and information here. For those who don't know what jammed or jammed out means, it's when you when you open up your door, it's all the intersections where the door meets with the car. It's all the
God damn.
yeah, it really did snap, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's definitely broken.
Jamming is all the surround of the edges of the door.
When you paint the door jambs.
Yeah, so it's all that's why it's called jammed out. So
So it's it's jammed out. The underside of the hood and the underside of the trunk are done. All the insides of the doors themselves are done.
quarters and everything.
Yeah,
all the
it's
inside corners of that. That's fully
Yeah,
jammed
it's getting
out.
ready. They're gonna paint the firewall next because I added that
Which is
today.
that's a new one today. So that's going to set it back just a little bit, doing the
they're gonna-
firewall
they're gonna put
with
the
the motor
firewall.
in. We're not taking the motor out. So he's going to be painting around
No,
stuff.
the motor's getting pulled out here.
Yeah.
Not here.
So-
Maybe here.
But they're doing that, and then they're essentially going to put the car all back together so they can shoot it as one unit, clear it,
Best way
let
to
that
do it.
cure. Then they're going to sand it down, scuff it real good. Then it's going to get pinstriped, get some nice work. And then
Who'd you
it's
say?
gonna
Who'd you say was pinstriping it? We all know him.
Mikey, Pinstripes by Mikey.
Pinstripes by Mikey. And if
Yeah.
you haven't seen, we'll put some. Maybe you can get some pictures.
Yeah,
put
check
some of
check
his
them
work
check
up.
them out on Instagram. Pinstripes by Mikey. It's either Pinstripes by Mikey or Pinstriping by Mikey.
Yeah,
One of
we'll
those
put
two.
some of
One
his
of those
work
two.
One of those
up
two.
Check him
there.
out. He does amazing work.
Yeah.
He did some work on my Volkswagen there, and
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of
we're
Throw
looking
some
at it
pictures
right
up
here.
of it.
different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna do it, and then it's gonna get re-cleared, so everything's under the clear, protected, real
Oh,
good.
nice.
It's gonna be right. It's gonna be real nice.
We'd actually talked about Mikey before when we were discussing Nikolai and his phenomenal paint work and how he's had.
Yeah.
I've seen him do some collab with Mikey, did some pinstriping. I think they even buried it in the clear. Amazing job, both of them. But yeah, that's so the same guys doing
I'm a
this.
fan of his work. So.
We all
And
are.
that's of course going to push it back again, because especially with clear coats, anytime you clear coat something, you got to give it at least 30, 40 days to gas out before you start putting new clear over it.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, you're going to have solvent pop and dieback issues, and you never want that.
All right.
But yeah, anyway, that's
Good
the
times.
only story I can think of that went pretty
that went
smooth
well.
was when we put the front end together on that
So
car.
for me, anything I've ever worked on in my entire life has become a large project. I think that their listeners, you guys,
Including this
I'm
relationship.
willing to bet that everybody can identify with that.
Well, all right. What's one of the biggest horror stories?
I think,
Do you think of one off the top of your head?
I mean, just the Impala a couple months ago, the 96B body Impala. I was doing extended control arms on the back.
one you did not put wire wheels on.
The one I did not put wire wheels on.
It's okay.
Good call.
It's safe.
Nor am I going to. So, I mean, in that car I've had for a couple, 3 years now, and I've been doing upgrades here and there, suspension stuff mostly, Beltec full muscle car suspension.
Keeping it pure.
Yeah, keeping it looking good. How the good Lord intended it, anyway. But we were doing extended control arms, no big deal, right? We're doing extended control arms. We got upper arms, we got lower arms. It's all on the back, super easy. Jack the car up, jack stand it, drop the rear end, do everything. And while you're in there, you got to do the bushings and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
anybody that's familiar with B bodies and the bushings on the differential housing that push through on either side, they're pressed in. And it just became a total nightmare. And I have the tools to do it.
Yeah,
And
the ears on
Yeah,
the
the ears,
differential.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
those. Oh, yeah.
So I had or at least I thought I had the tools to do it. I actually had to buy an additional one. Set me back a few days. A few cuss words later here and there.
Sometimes
And,
it's really good aim with an air hammer. Just time.
and just like Trent's car, I mean, it's a blessing to have a shop and have a place where you can work on something. And when you get aggravated or you get pissed off, you can kind of just stop and walk away from it.
Right.
And it's not a big deal. I'm not driving it to work every day or anything like that. I can let it sit in here for a day or two if I need to. So it's a
It's
blessing.
funny you mentioned how everything you own and everything you're working on has turned into this grandiose project, or he's turned into a project. And then I said, like this relationship. Well, if I think of it really in all actuality, yeah, including this relationship, because we're already working on stuff in your garage and
Yep.
it's stuck here for 2 days.
Yeah, here we are, 2 days down.
2
I'm parked-
days in, and this relationship is already costing you stress.
Absolutely. My garbage is parking outside. We got this car in here.
I know it.
Oh wait, Tim's got a
Thanks-
garage.
thanks-
Hold up.
Thanks
Wait
to
a
Trent.
minute.
Thanks to Trent, the cleanest 92 ever in existence is still
Yeah,
outside.
it's out. Thank God it didn't rain.
Trent looked at his shop and said, "You know what? My Buick would fit." in there."
Well, you're building the same shop. Now that we had to
I'm
work
just
on
doing
it.
the taller walls. Oh, I look in here and I
taller
immediately
walls for a
think,
second story.
I'm already out of room in my head.
Really?
That's fine.
I thought you were after working on it for a day or two. Like we had the ability to lay down on all corners of it, all sides of it. We have 2 other vehicles in
But
here.
you got to remember too, and I'm not knocking your organization. This isn't a business. This is
Right.
going. His is going to be far
No, this is
more
loose, my friend. This
very
is loose.
very loose. Nothing's
This is
tight
loose.
in here. So it is going to be very organized, very well thought out, because it's going to be some production things coming in and out, not just personal vehicles, but customer vehicles. And then there's going to be like an upstairs loft where it's going to be these products we're selling, podcast area, or one of the podcast areas, and then storage. So it's going to have to be one of those things where we have to really like he said, he's already out of room in his
Very
head.
meticulous
And I'm
in
sure
your,
it's I'm sure it's
organization.
really pressed out in his head. So
Yeah.
it's part of it, though. You got to
Yeah,
make best you can with the space
more,
you got.
The more I look in here, the more I think, well, I could put something there, I could put something there, and I'm out of room.
I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be all right.
I'll tell you,
I
what
really
somebody
do.
told me about shops and everything, walls are your best friend. So even if we're using a section for, like a second loft and everything, even if it's not shelving, you can still put specialized hangers, or we can build specialized hangers to just hang parts, even if it's parts that you can only get to with a ladder.
He's trying to find a place to put his Cadillac hood and trunk. And
Oh, you got a whole wall for me, absolutely. Deck lid, 4 doors, a hood, 2 front fenders. The bumpers are trash. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, you can go ahead and just already assume that a '94 Cadillac,
Between all the Impala body parts and his Cadillac body parts, I'm out of
the
wall
biggest
space.
Cadillac.
you are
you're
now
gonna-
20 by 50.
Now that I've heard Dean's plan in your shop, I have to end this friendship.
At least let me
About
get
the
my
bike.
hey,
About the bike.
at least let me get my
Here to
55
start it.
Mercury. Let me get the 55 Mercury over here first, and then you can end
You're
it.
gonna come out here and there's gonna be a Cadillac hood on the like, what? Where did this come from?
Where's this come
Cadillac
from?
hood.
Dean's gonna pop. Hey.
I'm going to come over here one time. My bike's going to be out front. Like, what did you kick
Why
it
does
out?
it-
Like, no, I was taking it for a ride.
Why does it smell like cigar smoke in here? Hey, man.
What's up? Sleeping in the back of the VW there. What'd it do, boo? So yeah, you have to. We've spit back some real good ideas back and forth, and I can only imagine what you've got like final product in your head. So, and that's it. We got to use our heads and consolidate as well.
I think wholeheartedly we'd be able to get at least 4 because none of our cars are petite.
No,
Like
that's-
I think
Tim's
more
got
than
a
that.
Volkswagen in here.
I would still like to try to talk him into a ride-on lift where you can then put one right up under it.
I
So
think it's
there's
going to eat up
5.
too much room.
So I still think we can get 4 cars easy.
Yeah.
But if you get that
We'll see.
ride-on, you get 5 cars without trying.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll
Right
see.
on for
Listen,
storage,
It's
you
all,
store
it's
the,
all, it's all in
Storage
that.
and work. You can
It's all in
ride
the
on for
future.
storage and work. That's why I try to push you for that.
Once we get it all set up, we'll determine. We'll cross that bridge then. But to get back on subject, I think my worst story, as far as a project goes,
Is also
one-
this relationship.
is one that you know very well. The spindle swap on the town car.
I was gonna say when the motor fell out of the Cadillac. Or the
Oh no,
roof
because
blew
I
up,
didn't fix those.
just
Those
took
were-
the tag
those-
off. Good luck.
Yeah.
No, that was a
that's it.
full-blown give up.
Yeah,
Yeah, the spindle swap.
The spindle
on your,
swap was a
oh my
nightmare.
green one?
word.
yeah.
And now that I'm a Lincoln owner myself, and I'm on the Lincoln forums on Facebook and all that, and that's one of the biggest topics even today is spindle swaps on
Here,
Lincolns.
here you go, Will.
I've
Tip
I've
of the week.
I've been so happy that I bought a '92. I can't stand it.
Yeah. That spindle swap,
Give them the tip of the week right here. What yours is a 95?
95. Yeah. So 90. Yeah. Anything 90. I believe it's 94 and up.
Yeah.
You got to do the spindle swap from
Right.
an earlier town car to clear.
That's
to
because
clear
they
13s,
put bigger
14s.
brakes on them, right?
Correct.
So you're gonna get some detail
Check.
now on what to
But
not do.
Yeah. So this and I had done
Even
one
with
of
the
these.
bigger brakes, you're good with the 14s, right? You don't have to change anything, or do you have to grind
It's a
it?
92.
Yeah, he's
So
got
those are
smaller brakes.
Oh, you got the smaller brakes.
Yeah.
So then you
I,
have the
I
bigger
put
brakes.
the smaller brakes on it. I
So
did
you,
the
okay,
spindle
got
swap.
you.
So I had done one of these spindle swaps before on my white one, and it only took a couple hours. Like it's not a huge deal, but for some reason this one turned into like almost 2 weeks.
I was gonna say it was a couple weeks.
It was about a week before I said, you know what, I'm just going to take this to a shop
Yep.
because they wouldn't
That's why we
bleed.
had issue with the brakes,
They
right?
wouldn't bleed.
The brakes
I drove that thing 30 minutes with no brakes. To home.
Supposed to only drive for about 10 minutes, but he's slowing down the other 20.
Yeah.
What was that? what was the problem?
So the problem apparently
Here's what we don't do.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, there's an L and a R stamped somewhere on these that 5 people somehow did not see. All we were doing was making sure that the bleeder valves were up. They're at the
You
top.
can't say 100%. 99% now you can say the bleeder is always at the top. Never at the bottom of the caliper. Always at the top. And for what year was it now that we're putting them on?
95.
95. You're 95 for these that he swapped to it.
Well, we put 90, 91, 93.
Right, 91 to 93 on his 95, and we did and we have a few people that were helping us that are ASE certified. The bleeder goes on the top.
Usually,
well,
in this case, the instructions were embossed on the caliper itself.
They were.
We did
They
not
were.
read the instructions.
We all have. We're all males. Instructions go
That's
by the
right.
wayside.
Left, right.
Not only that,
up,
again,
down,
ASE
whatever.
certified individuals, and come to find out, when he took it to the shop, he said somebody put them on backwards or upside down. And we're looking at each other like, well, who's the last ones to put them on? And we're like, no, we put those bleeders up. They're not screwed up. He's like, yeah, they're supposed to be down. And we're like, no, he's wrong. No, he's wrong. He
was
put them
not.
on upside down, or in this situation, the correct way.
He was not, because the car still stops.
Stops wonderfully.
100%
Which is
correct.
more than I can say for when we did it. Because I drove that thing home. Then the next day, I took it all apart and I tried changing the hoses, because I thought maybe when we clamped the hoses
We
with
thought
the
a
vice
million
grips, we
things.
collapsed them. So I put new hoses on it. That didn't work.
We
I tried
played with
the new
fittings for
fittings
like
for
a
the hard
week.
lines. Then I said, oh, well, maybe these calipers are just junk. Maybe it's just bad luck. So I took them off. I took them back to the auto parts store.
Swapped
They
them.
warrantied them out, gave me different ones. Same thing. At
'Cause
that point,
they was
Because it's
upside down.
in
Yeah.
this
And
day and
this
age,
is a-
you can get
this is a course-
consecutive bunk.
right,
parts.
this is now a course of 3 days. Finally, I said, you know what?
It's going on a trailer.
Let me just trailer this to my buddy's shop. Let him deal with it.
And it was literally
and
that was
yeah,
it.
4 hours later, y'all shouldn't work on cars anymore.
And we're like, what do you mean the bleeder valve has to be down? And just, I'm telling Justin, he's like, no, that can't be right.
You didn't see the L and the R on
That's
this?
literally Justin's job. Tires, brakes, like that's his bread and butter.
And
That's
it wasn't just
all
him.
that he does.
Scotty was involved. He's ASE certified. Like we had ASE certified individuals.
Scotty,
like-
the guy who builds race cars.
Scotty, he's been on one of the episodes. He builds race cars.
In their defense,
But he's alive still, so he's putting his brakes on right.
in their defense, it was dark. We were doing it in the shell. Like, it was a miserable conditions to do
You
it.
said you were doing it for
do you
2
mean?
weeks. There was at no point. We don't live in Alaska. The sun was up at some point.
Y'all, when I was replacing the parts in my driveway, I put the parts
6
back
months of
exactly how I
darkness.
pulled them off.
Yeah.
So I never really looked and examined for an L and R. I just, okay, they're this
No,
way.
bleeder
Put
valve,
them here.
that's it. That's
Let
all
me
you're
change this
looking at.
hose. Let me put this back
to
here.
be fair, I've never seen any of you guys work in the daylight before.
Fair
It's
enough.
always
true.
been night.
It's true.
Fair
That's
enough.
true.
Yeah.
It's
And
true.
we showed up tonight. You
late
said
bloomers.
for this we had the Buick here. We tore it apart. Tim's like, I got a date with my wife.
Yeah, for those that you don't know,
Shop's
it's late.
It's late.
shop
It's
will
like-
be
it's a
unlocked.
work night.
Shop will be here. Got the code, all that stuff.
But she's
10
Gucci.
10
Let
45.
yourselves in. Be out with my wife. We come rolling in. Tim's got the shop open. He's sitting in here. I was like, dude, I thought you had a date night. He's like, oh, I did. We went out. We had dinner. We're showered. We're back.
In
She's
fact,
in bed.
y'all
everything's
are
good.
late.
We're all happy.
Y'all are late.
We flew to Vegas, had dinner, flew back.
I lived an
Where are we
entire
at?
life, my friends.
Made
Before
love.
you guys
She's
got-
tired of me right now. She actually said, get out of the house. So here we go.
Before you guys got here at 8 o'clock. Right?
No, we save the daylight for poor decisions like buying vehicles
Yeah, there
or
you go.
bikes.
There
in
you
this
go.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dean, you just bought a bike.
Just bought a bike.
Going back to the
Mikla.
not reading instructions or following instructions.
Why do you look right at me when you say
No,
that?
this has nothing to do with you. Back when we were doing the glass house and we had the pile of parts, we literally were grabbing upper control arms, sitting them on, and we're like, what about this one? Took this one off, grabbed this one.
Bet.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I took it.
Yep, that's good.
Like, is this the left side or the right side? I put it on here, and it's pointing this way, and then I line up the ball.
Somebody behind him
ball
on
joints are like
Google.
this. I'm like, no, that's not it.
Somebody-
The other one on, they line
one
up
is
good.
one?
I'm like,
That car
all
is
right.
never going to
First
align.
one fits better.
With at least one or two of somebody else behind him with Google images looking it up. I think it's
Dude, no.
think
It was
it's this way.
straight up.
Listen,
He's
at the
going to
end of the
drive it
day,
and be like, why doesn't this car stop?
all this. Listen, at the end of the day, all I needed was this car to roll into
the
a paint
paint
booth. That is it.
Fair. Yeah.
Like it was hilarious. Did he put the first one on? And he goes, man, it fits good. I don't know. Let me see the other one. Put the second one on. He's like, nope, first one definitely fits better.
Yeah.
Puts it on.
the
We
ball-
got like 3 more options back here. He's like, that's it. Send.
like, it's accepting the bolts, man. Run it.
That's it. That's it.
But yeah,
Done.
no, I
Done
just bought a bike today, actually within a few hours ago. So we'll put a couple pictures up of that.
Yeah.
2013 Road King. My newest addition. You know, I've always had choppers and built choppers, so I've always wanted a second horse in the stable, one that's not kickstart, just turnkey, get on, super comfy for the passenger and everything. And
Is that in my stable?
it's technically,
How many
That-
bikes
that
can you
also
fit in your
came-
garage, dude?
that also came with, hey, you're doing a good job on the Buick. So hypothetically,
Hey, man.
if I didn't have a spot to put my new bike, And, at my place.
I've had those conversations
and I'm
before,
discussing this slowly, and then Will says he doesn't want the labor pains. He
I
says,
said, give him the baby, not
give
the
him
labor
baby,
pains.
not the labor pains. And before I could finish, he goes, you want to bring the bike here? I'm like, if I have to, he goes, yeah, that's fine. As he's buttoning up the Buick. So you'll see that the process of that, what we're going to do to that. It's going to be a very traditional Cholo style Vicla. So it's going to be a cool build. It's going to be the first for our group as far as that,
I know very
build.
little about cars. I know nothing about bikes.
I can't wait to sit in this chair and watch you guys work on that.
Right? You and I, we'll hold it down.
We'll handle
Every
it.
once in a while,
We'll
we'll go
handle
push something over for him.
Perfect.
You gonna do 16-inch Carlinis on that thing?
I haven't decided. I'm going to do 16 or 18, whatever's more conducive to my level of comfort.
You gonna do Carlinis though? I love the sweep of the Carlini bars.
I haven't. Again, there's nothing that I have a vision, but I don't have anything as far as part is
Your
concerned.
vision involve a Carlini.
It very well. I feel like
Carlinis are
chastised.
handlebars, by the way.
Yeah.
If you don't
I feel
know
like
that.
I'm going to be cut down if they're not. So they're probably we'll call them Carlinis for now.
Okay.
16 or 18, I haven't decided yet. I'm going to see where my arms are comfortable. I want to drop the booty on it.
21-inch wire wheel in the front.
21-inch mammoth spoke in the front. I want to drop the rear a few inches. I haven't decided if I'm going to bag it or just static it. Ben said it's actually pretty affordable to bag it.
Yeah,
And I like the
yeah,
idea
because
of
they're
I like the
built-in
idea-
compressor systems. So
Yeah,
it's
I like the idea of
real
adjustability,
slow.
just for the sake of adjustability.
Bags are
True
okay on
to-
bikes. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, they are.
Gatekeeper.
Still considered.
Just checking. Okay.
No, I do not want to start chipping with the back end of my bike. So I'm not going to be chipping with the back of my
Again,
bike.
I don't know anything
Got
about
a trailer
it.
with batteries behind you.
Yeah. I want to run either shark fins or fishtails about no more than a foot to 16
Yeah,
inches.
see, I get it, the style, whatever,
yeah.
but I don't like them sticking that far back.
Not too, listen, foot at most.
No.
That's all you're
According to
looking
Will, it's a foot.
at. Yeah. If you say about,
you stick them a foot out, my
he
guy.
literally said that yesterday. He said, man, this thing was like 12 inches. And he said 12 inches and he went wider than his body. And I said, Trent, look at this.
Finish
He
the
goes,
story. Finish the story. I immediately
"No,
said,
we're going to
maybe a little
sidestep.
smaller.
I said, Trent, look. He goes, what? I said, don't even dare move your hands. I said, Trent, look. He goes, yeah, what's up? I said, Will said about 12 inches. And Trent goes, what? He had to look like this back and forth on your hand. So yeah, I want the exhaust to be about 12 inches past the rear bag. I want to have,
like it.
not a bagger. I do not like bagger. This is a full dresser. It's a beautiful Vicla is what I'm building. The bags are going to be extended downward where they just kind of wrap around the exhaust. And just, small other
See, I don't mind
aesthetic.
small extensions toward the back.
I can't.
I don't like the giant extension, but
No,
just
yeah.
a good
and
little.
I might be okay with that too, but I'm just so used to seeing such exaggerated, extended and stretched bags.
Because when you stretch it down, and the bag is naturally, cantered, right?
Right.
Canted.
It does.
what is
Yeah, no,
Canter?
it's-
Canter?
yeah.
Yeah. It naturally has an angle.
Yeah.
of
So
the
it's not going to
dangle.
go straight. It's
So
going to continue that.
You got to continue that. So
So
I don't.
that'll
I
look
don't mind that.
appropriate. It'll look appropriate. And then other things like I'll do the seat. I'll do upholstery on the seat and whatnot. When we get a little more familiarized with, plating, which we're going to be trying to offer in the future, I would like to do some gold accents, stuff like that. But nothing over the top. Just a lot of small aesthetic touches to it, keeping the overall feel and presence of a beautiful Road King. So I'm excited for that because I've never had a super comfortable bike. I've always built rigid choppers. It's a whole different world.
The nice thing about building bikes is anything you do to that bike should only take a couple hours.
Right.
Yeah, right. Nothing takes a couple hours.
Give or take a day or two.
3 days later, it's got handlebars.
It'll be a 30-minute. 30-minute.
30-minute.
Let's just read the directions. I don't want the Carlinis to like do bunny ears, roll back to us and everything. We need to have them rolling forward. So
Let's take this to Tim's shop in case it goes over.
why is that? Because he can leave them in there for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so plans for that. Plans ahead on that, and then eventually down the road, when funds and timing permit, you're going to end up getting a very similar bike that we're going to build just the same.
That's way down the road, buddy.
It is.
I got 3
However,
projects
I
as it
feel
is right
once
now.
this is on the road a little bit, and I
That's
throw
right.
you the keys now and then.
Don't you forget that. You got 3.
Maybe.
I feel once
you
I
have 3 projects.
listen. I
might
feel once
cut
I
it
throw
down
him the keys now and then, one or two things are going to happen. He's either going to be coming over here a lot under the radar and getting the code from Tim's garage to grab my bike, or he's going to be like, I can't be off one. I got to get on two wheels again. So one of the two things are going to happen. He's going to be borrowing the hell out of mine, or he's going to be buying one.
No, I don't think so.
Excuse me?
That was your phone?
No, mine's on mute.
Mine's on mute too.
No, it ain't.
Yours
No,
is
it ain't.
Ain't mine.
asking a question, buddy.
That
You
ain't mine.
said you can't understand you.
Somebody's serious listening.
Who was it?
Not mine.
Not mine.
Wasn't mine.
Somebody claim it. No, mine's on mute.
All right, who left their phone here?
Somebody lying. Somebody lying.
I heard that earlier because when I was looking around, I thought a female was talking.
Do you have Alexa in here or something?
It's a mystery. Tim's
is.
brand new shop. Brand new shop is haunted.
Yeah, apparently.
Somebody's already putting stuff in here for
That's
him.
kind of a nice voice. I mean, it's going to be haunted. It's okay.
Right?
Other people are hiding stuff in his shop already. He don't even know.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. It was
Castle
probably
nuts.
Jay. It was probably
Somebody's hiding
Jay.
castle nuts.
Somebody's looking for their phone right now, and it's in here somewhere.
Oh yeah, we got some good work done. And what was the reason now? Why? What was the time crunch? I forgot for the Buick. Why we had to address that now?
Was he not paying attention at the beginning of this?
Did you go into that?
Yeah, going to Indianapolis next year or next month for the Slimology.
And we're in Southwest Florida. You're going all the way to Indianapolis.
Yes.
Are we driving the car or trailering the car?
We're trailering it.
Trailering the car.
It's still got the original nail head in it. I'm not.
Okay.
Which there's nothing wrong with that, but
No,
you just
I'm-
don't want to put the. Which
No,
totally
no,
understand. Listen, an hour, 2 hours away, I get it.
Yeah.
But beyond that, put it on trailer, tow it across state lines.
Be towing it up there. So
You bought a truck specifically just to tow this mammoth,
And
actually,
it'll-
as it were.
we'll make much better time in the truck than driving this.
100%. And it's not
poopy.
abusing that. You're keeping the originality, and that thing is, it's wild to me how you just, no pun intended with that engine, it's wild how you turn that thing over, a couple shots of gas, and it just,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's been wanting to run all day. Like that's how it starts up. It's amazing.
Steve
Gotta
did a
put it
bang
on
up job on it, but
Yeah, Steve Strahl's Automotive.
when we were up under it, or when Tim was up under it, and I was pushing it, well, I pushed
You were up
back.
under it. Come on.
I saw a couple leaky leaks. I'm gonna have to call Steve back up
Yeah.
to address. We're got a couple oil drips and it's leaking from the shifter.
And he had mentioned that, once you start to use it and demand more use out of it, it's not a daily, but you're commanding more use out of it than it had seen years before when it's been sitting in somebody else's garage or cathedral of cars, if it were.
Yeah, that dude has.
Yeah, it's so now you're commanding more. Just like my
Lot of
Cadillac, I drove. I got an oil change under its belt, and it's like there's a couple other things that need to be addressed. Some of them have been, some of them haven't yet. You're asking a lot of for me, a 30-year-old car, and yours is a 64. So do that time frame. It's old gal. So, but
80.
all in
No,
all,
60 years old.
all in all, a little weepiness here and there. It's nothing.
was
It runs like a top.
59 years old.
You hear it coming down.
You still got to put it on my trailer. Make sure you can lay it out and open that door.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
If you can, then you got to upgrade your trailer, buddy.
I'm actually, I was looking at some trailers up in, because for whatever reason, trailers in Florida are asinine.
Yes.
Astronomical.
Asinine.
No, my father, he buys them in Georgia. He goes up, buys it, and picks it up.
So I'm looking.
Save several
I'm looking in
$1,000.
Georgia and Tennessee for deck overs. Same,
You're
same
already
one.
looking to upgrade your trailer now?
Yeah, for a deck over. Here's the problem with both the 64s.
Now, wait, what's the deck over?
So with our trailers, you have your fenders that stick up. So you got to pull the car in between the fenders.
So you're going deck over.
So the deck over lifts it up above it, so there's no fenders. You pull it straight on. Because my biggest issue with the Impala is static dropped. It's not adjustable.
Then how are we going to bag your trailer?
Fucking low. We're not. We're not bagging the trailer.
Oh, we're not.
I need something that is just reliable.
Tim, you have that. Tim's reliable.
Mayor, whatever you need, man.
You're
So,
reliable, buddy.
but both the cars, if I pull it on, I cannot pull it up far enough to open the door.
Okay.
So if it's laid out, like I'm stuck in after Dukes of Hazzard.
No,
to
I
get
know. I've
out,
seen. I
and
used
then
to have a
can't-
video which I would share absolutely, but for whatever reason I got rid of it. Of you.
Yeah,
I had
actually
one of you
sent
try-
I will lead this video off with the video of me climbing in and out of my town car.
I had a video of him getting in his 64 Impala, and it was wet out, and his foot slipped on the fender, and he half racked himself, and then fell in his car. And that's for an individual who's 6'3".
6'3".
It's a sight to see. His son was laughing at it. It was great.
How long is your trailer?
Mine's 20. Yours is 24.
24. That's the reason I bought a 24.
You can adjust front to rear where that's got to go.
The trailers I'm actually looking at, which is it's messed up.
Right.
I'm
But you
looking
can
at-
still reclaim good money for your.
Oh, from down in Florida, I could sell it for what I need to buy the new one.
God.
So
So this is not just in the thoughts. You're literally looking to make that ASAP.
It's going to happen.
It's happening.
Whether it be sooner or later,
Okay.
it's going to happen.
And yours is fantastic condition. You just bought it, what, a year ago?
It's been like 3 years now. It's been a while.
What?
3-4 years, yeah.
God, what was that? Sleep at the
But-
wheel?
It's good. Like, we maintain it pretty good. So,
It looks brand new.
but the I'm actually looking at maybe a 2-car, like with the gooseneck, because the truck, both of our trucks could handle 2 cars.
yeah.
Debbie's problem is hers is too tall for a
Yours is
gooseneck.
tall.
Oh, man, I just realized that means I got to weld up a whole nother damn bracket for you to put a winch on again. I got to do all that over again with Will.
Yeah, but he's gonna pull your
Not
car
with me.
for you.
He
I
did.
didn't say I'm
Two
getting a
cars.
trailer.
So
He helped me make the bad decision. He sent me an ad.
There you go.
He made me buy the Cadillac, and then we went and picked it up with his.
Listen, he only needed a 1-car trailer till you made him buy a Buick.
well, no, here's the thing.
He made me buy a Cadillac.
Even with a 2-car trailer, I'm not 100% certain that the Buick and Impala would fit on a 2.
That's
Like
true.
it's going to
They're
have to
long.
be
They're
one
long.
or other, and the Isuzu.
That's when we start getting heavier into our business, and we've got a stacker, or we've got a
Well, then-
wedge. Yeah,
Then our
that's-
trucks need to be upgraded yet again.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have like a dedicated like tow rig that's going to have probably.
Not necessarily. Helper bags and thicker, more
See, I
ply
did a lot of
tire.
research, man. Helper bags do not add any towing capacity. They just level it out.
No, they don't. Yeah, the towing capacity is just what
Right.
the vehicle is
Yeah,
rated
so
to
the
actually
vehicle
drag
is-
down the road, but it will
But the
be
vehicle,
level about it.
our
That's
trucks
twice now.
have that towing
That's
capacity.
twice now. I give
You
up.
just need the helper
You're like,
bags
what are
to
you
level it
doing?
out, and you need a more ply tire
Yeah.
to handle that load.
Right.
Dualies in your future.
Yeah, that's where I'm.
Really, the helper bags at this point are saving the people in front of
that's
him.
the only difference between a dually, a 3500, and a 2500 is the suspension and the tire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could figure out what we need to do to beef up the leaf springs or whatever.
beefing
we
up, beefing up with helper bags is just helping out the people in front of him because he likes to blind everybody.
You're
Trust me.
blind.
I
With
know.
if actually.
But he was
If
behind
somebody
me.
sits on the tailgate, the person in front of him are
was
blind.
Actually,
behind me
it'll
in my
probably help
town
him out
car.
because as tall as the truck is, if you squat it now, the lights are probably going straight over everybody.
Bro, he was behind me in the town car one night coming to your shop,
Yeah.
and he x-rayed my dome, bro.
And that was low beam.
Like I
He
was
got-
staring straight with
that
the
was
lights
he came
coming
to
out
the
of my
shop.
eyes.
Yeah, that was the day he came to the shop with UV damage on the back of his skull.
He was sunburnt.
He was smoking, a little steam rising off the back.
Those LEDs are no joke. Son.
They're not.
They were
No.
like
They
$3 bills.
Are
You hear the
Worth
music.
everything.
You hear the music. You feel the light, and it's like. Oh,
As soon
that's-
as I
that's
get behind
Trent.
you, you're like, it just got 10 degrees warmer in this bitch.
That
What
is
is
that is
coming up
Trent.
behind you?
Oh,
I immediately knew it was Trent.
Yeah, when you sent me the little thingy.
yeah.
I hate you so much right now. How'd you know it was me? Question mark.
Because I'm blind, fool.
Surprise, surprise. I hear the bass and I feel the heat.
I am quite impressed with the way that stereo turned out in that truck.
Oh wow, it's beautiful. Corey ran
turned out good.
an
It's
amazing job on
loud,
that.
boy. It's
How smooth was that project? That was not a smooth project at all.
Listen, y'all did your due diligence for weeks, got all the parts, everything was supposed to be plug and play, and then it
Everything
was a
was
full day of just getting it to okay, this is acceptable.
3 days.
This was a day, the first day was just to get it acceptable, but we need to go back and address everything.
The first day, so
God almighty. And that's still not fixed, is it?
no. We're going to be doing, me and Kurt are going to handle some stuff when we get up to Indiana. And then I'll be taking, hopefully, the Buick over to my buddy Brandon over at
Right.
D&B up in there and doing the
Okay.
stereo and that. But we, the F-250's got all the controllers on the steering wheel for the stereo.
Everything,
Right?
that electronic new stuff.
So I had the XL, which is the poor man's F-250. It's bottom end, had the little 4.5-inch screen. So we did all of our due diligence. We got everything that is supposed to be plug and play. Pull it out. We got it's a $400, just the plastic bevel, the $400 replacement.
But worth it if it's plug and play and it makes factory.
If it's plug and play, absolutely.
If it does as it's set
We got
to
the
do.
big 8.5-inch screen.
Yeah,
Supposed to go right into this. So we started taking everything apart, and we noticed that like the truck had 2 sets of knobs and controls, one for the radio and one for the heat, AC, all that
AC
good
and all
jazz,
that,
right?
yeah.
When we got the new bevel in, it's only got one for the AC.
Okay.
And then it's got a tray with a bunch of USB plugs in it. So we take it off, and there's literally motherboards behind all of this stuff, right? Take the old one off.
Terrifying to some of us.
Right. So we take it all off, and then we look at the new one, and Corey's looking at it, and I'm grabbing it, and it's got like 10 pieces for this new, goes in the back of it. And I'm like, oh, it's like a puzzle. So we put one motherboard in this side here, I put the other one in here, and we're trying to figure out
I
how it
thought you were
goes.
going to say something else. We put one mother.
And then I found out
One. Then we put another mother. And there it is.
they stack. So now instead of having 3 parallel, like they're literally 3 deep in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool, we got this figured out. But the F-250s have.
It sounds more like an erector set than an actual.
Oh, it was insane. It has an amplifier, and everything for the truck runs through the amplifier. The remote wire to the head unit through this amplifier, all the wires all through the amplifier. Amplifier has to come out in order for this new piece to fit.
Right.
So we took that out, and then we purchased a thing called the Maestro, and the Maestro is supposed to it replaces the amplifier and connects the radio to the controls on the steering wheel, plug and play. Now you have to plug it into a computer, upload what vehicle you're putting it in, what stereos it's going to, and then it flashes it to match,
Right.
make it all compatible. Did all that stuff, everything was Gucci. Plug it in, turn the truck on, every light and buzzer was going off in the
Looked
truck.
like Times Square. It was just during
Red,
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Orange,
Happy
green.
New Year's, everybody.
You could hear solenoids actuating, and the alarm ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding.
you said you were just waiting for it to transform. That was it.
I looked at Corey, I was like, I don't think that's right. He's like, turn it off, take the Maestro out, check it,
Reflash it.
everything was gone. So we reflashed it, put it on, same thing. Ding, ding, ding. Well, shit. So we unplugged it, did all this stuff, ended up coming back the next day and just putting everything together without the Maestro. So I still don't have like controls.
Yeah, your steering wheel's bunk at this point.
So,
Like, it just steers. That's it.
We could not get the head unit to sit flush.
Yep.
So my head unit, like everything's perfectly matched to the truck. The head unit was supposed to mount in. It's literally like 45 degrees back.
What year is your truck?
2020.
I would say if it was like 2023, I would say, well, maybe they're still working bugs out, and but maybe there's still some R&D people are doing to finish the stuff out.
That's what's messed up. So we hooked up everything, right? Everybody who's done a stereo, red wire, yellow wire, right? That's your power, your
basics,
ignition, all that good stuff, right? Hook it all up, turn the truck on, no power to the head unit. It flashed for 1 second, went off.
I would be
And
losing
so
my mind at that point.
we started tracking everything. Everything's at power where it's supposed to be. The ignition wire, which normally ran into that amplifier, as soon as you would turn the truck on, the ignition power would cut off because it ran into the amplifier and it had just enough oomph to activate the actual ignition wire inside the amplifier, which then ran up to the head unit. So we had to tap off of, you remember how we did your lights? Well, I have the same wiring bundle, but mine's over on the right side, so we had to tear the right off. So I have my ignition wire running all the way over to the passenger door
Oh my God.
where we found an ignition wire. And it was just
Listen,
like,
I'm stuck in a time where it was power, ground, RCA, and remote.
yeah, nothing
That's
more.
it.
There's so
I don't
much
mess with
technology.
anything else past that because it just sounds like one light goes out
think-
on the tree, the whole tree goes out.
I think in 1995, my first car, I pulled my radio out. I didn't know anything about it. I cut the connector off the back. I had no idea that there were adapters. Yeah. I didn't even know enough to say, oh no, right? I mean, I just had a bunch of wires and a new radio.
Well,
Now, when you figured out, you went, huh?
why didn't you read the instructions, Tim?
Well, the instructions didn't cover that. They just told me what colors to match up. And those colors didn't exist in my car, in my 1984 Oldsmobile.
Is it because you were colorblind?
So it could be. It's not a disability.
Cut the red
Will,
wire.
we talked about this.
I don't know.
Yeah. So,
Everybody getting the same treatment.
yeah.
It's a nip.
Thankfully, I blew the first radio up, believe it or not. I had no idea.
Nip.
Thankfully, Montgomery Ward had a good return policy.
Oh man, you're dating
Dating
yourself.
ourselves
You're
there, right?
dating yourself
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that one.
Yeah, but I figured it out.
Took it to Sears and Roebuck, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Circuit City right up on deck.
Trial and error. That's all it is. You're just doing it. You're just doing it with a $70,000 truck.
We're now, what, two months since I got the stereo installed? 2 months.
Where's worst that could happen? Yeah.
2 months since I got the stereo installed, and it is still not done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pumping the brakes.
And
We're
not
gonna
for
have-
lack of attempt. It's just you guys are just kind of like regrouping and trying.
Well,
the guy behind
Sounds
the brains
great, though.
behind it.
It sounds good.
Sounds amazing. Your steering wheel don't do anything though. That's it.
So I go up to this Slimology every year, and we always try to go up like a week early. And my buddy Kurt's in the car club there called the Goodfellas. And so just like down here, the week before a show, it's crunch time. Kurt has a garage comparable, actually probably a little bit bigger than this one. So we will be doing, I already told him, hey, save me a day. He's like, yeah, we'll tear apart. No bubbles, no troubles. The Buick has a a little leak somewhere, a little drain. We're going to try tracking that down, and then I'm taking it over to
Air
no
suspension or-
the power.
Oh, the
battery,
parasitic draw on,
yeah,
on the
drains the
12-volt
battery,
battery
so-
there. Okay.
We're going to try to track that down. Like we have the week set up specifically.
Little things
where
though, but it's all those
Kurt's
little
off work,
things that
and we're in his garage is tearing shit apart.
you do
so.
2, 3, or 4 of those little things, and it's a whole breath of life back into the vehicle. You know, little stupid stuff.
So that's hopefully we get that squared away, and hopefully
Hopefully you get some tunes in that.
I got to call Brandon and make sure he can slot me in.
Hopefully, I'd love
He's
to
always
see you
hooked me up when I went up there before. Like every year I go up there, I'm like, hey, Brandon.
Hey,
He's
buddy.
like, what are we buying this year?
Yeah, because he knows you're going to put another system in something else.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can squeeze. I'd like to see 2 nice 8s in the back of that, inside of that little package tray inside of the trunk.
Yeah, I'm gonna get with him probably tomorrow. See,
That'd be beautiful.
what we can
Couple
do.
8s in there, and you know with technology and how audio is now, that would slam.
I don't want it to slam.
I'm saying
I really
it
don't.
would have the capability of slamming, but it would
I would
be
actually be good
tight.
with A8.
That's fine,
And
yeah.
some mids and highs in it.
You
so.
need some. Yeah, it's going to be weird to see you roll up and not just hear it like the exhaust and hear you lay out, but to hear tunes pumping out of that 64. That's
You
gonna
might
be
you
beautiful.
might take a look at that little box that's in the back of the Lincoln. It's got 3 8s in it, but I
Right.
mean it's a pretty small package.
I want to keep it on the upper deck. Might even do.
Yeah.
Might
It's
even try
pretty
to put
small.
it-
I think it almost. I'd probably fit.
I think it's a
I
little
think it's a
too.
little,
I think it's a
little
bit-
Is it too
tall.
tall?
Too tall.
Yeah,
Too tall.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if we can do like you've seen, I don't know
But
if
it's
you've
pretty
seen
deep, so
the
you
rear
can put a
deck
pretty long
on
box
this.
in there.
You could literally, if we get some plywood, we could do a 2 8s in there and fire them right into the cab. So, but I'm gonna call. There's so much technology out there. Like we were
Well, even-
talking about.
Again, it still makes no sense to me how audio has come so far, and yet in this economy and in every facet, it is so affordable to make your vehicle slam.
I don't.
Listen, even my 95, my town car, right?
Yeah.
So the town cars have an amplifier in the back that everything runs to. So when you want to put a stereo in one of those, you got to run this giant wiring harness into that amplifier.
Cadillac 93, same thing.
So, and then everything like now, my steering wheel controls for my radio don't work.
Oh, okay.
I can't find any kind of adapter for that.
Maestro
But
looked up.
not
Apparently they work.
But not only
Not on my-
not only that, my HVAC controls that are on my steering wheel and my HVAC unit that sits under the radio.
Right.
I don't. Somehow they're all integrated. I don't know if it's because there's a harness that goes to the steering wheel or whatever. But anytime I want to use to see the display on my AC, I got to turn my headlights on
Oh my God.
for the display to pop on, and then I can turn them off, and
right.
and it'll stay on. But the steering wheel controls for the HVAC unit will only work when the headlights are on.
Have you
People in front of him are like, why does he keep flashing me?
have you tried clucking like a chicken? Maybe hopping on one leg. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's funny because I like wood grain wheels and stuff like I had in the Regal and everything, and I want to,
Paul Wall.
but I like my steering
grain
wheel
grip.
controls.
It would great.
I like my
Well, that's
steering
what
wheel
I'm doing
controls,
with
but
the-
at this point, when my radio controls don't work,
Nardy it is, baby.
no, because my cruise control is on the steering wheel, so I
Oh.
can't. Thankfully,
See,
that
look,
still works.
I got fortunate.
My cruise control works, just on my radio, my right side of the steering
My
wheel.
93 Cadillac, nothing's on the wheel. So the only thing that's going to be on that wheel is a whole new wheel. Put a nice 15-inch Nardi in that wood grain Italian-made steering wheel.
If it wasn't for the cruise control, I would.
I get
dump
it.
that
And
wheel.
this is what you bought, a luxury car, not just to juice it. It's a luxury car. If you've got things at your control, you don't want to lose the aesthetic of a luxury car, having all those modern conveniences for something from a 95. I get it. But a Nardi would look really nice in there.
When I reach out to Brandon, like talking about the technology of the stereos, how they come along, I'm keeping this car, the Buick, looking like original. So I don't want to put a new head unit, new upper.
Everything, even including cutting. We didn't even cut anything on that. We didn't have to bore anything out. I mean, everything is just, it's on a simple air ride setup.
Well, you had to drill one hole.
We'd
drill.
drill one hole essentially, but at the end of the day, this can be in a day's time, which in our time is about 3 days.
Yeah.
Could go
that's
right
fair.
back to stock suspension, stock everything. So I get what you're trying to do. You're just trying to,
Well, they have technology now, which I just found out about recently. You don't need a head unit. All the amplifiers are now Bluetooth, where you run a power wire, the ground, and then as soon as you link up with your phone or whatever, that counts. That becomes the remote and activates everything.
is that not amazing? That's your head unit now, right off this computer in your hand.
I won't have to cut into the dash. I won't have to
That's
hide a head
beautiful.
unit. It'll everything be in the trunk,
Yep.
and
You just sync
log
it up,
in,
and that's it.
fucking hit the button, and boom, stereo's on.
That's awesome.
So
What are you gonna? I'm wondering what you're gonna do for mids and highs. Clearly, you're not gonna just. There's probably 2 speakers in that whole car. You're probably gonna add, I would imagine, 4 speakers,
well, I got a.
4 mids, 4 highs.
I have a roll of the interior that's in it. I have a roll of the same material.
Oh, beautiful.
So if everything works out well, you've seen the deck lid back there. You could fit probably 215s, a 12, a couple.
Literally right on
it's
the back
huge.
on the back
It's
tray
definitely huge.
under the window, you could put like 15s.
So
back there.
if I have to, I'm gonna do 1/8, maybe 2/8, maybe some 6x9s,
Yep.
and then we can cover it up
Yep, make it
with the
disappear.
material, so it looks completely.
Factory, and then we can even get you do perforations with the upholstery. Excuse me, I just do perforations above certain sections where the mids and highs are.
And then we'll replace the door speakers with whatever.
Yep. Or if there's even any speakers in the doors.
There should be. Yeah, there's a head. I mean, there's a head unit in it, and you can see there's speakers in the rear deck. There's speakers in the front doors. I don't know if there's anything in the rear doors or not.
Seems to be run of the mill. Back deck section, and then in the front door. That's on my Cadillac.
And I don't-
nothing in the rear.
Again,
doors,
this is
though.
not going to be a stereo car. This is not.
No,
I'm not.
you want. Like,
I wanna
you
be able to
always
cruise and listen
You can
to-
hear it from a good bit away, good crisp clarity.
Honestly,
and
don't
a
even
little
care about
bass.
hearing it from a good bit away
No?
in this car. I just want to hear it clear in the car.
What you want is something better than the Beats that you carry around.
Yeah, I have a little JBL.
Little JBL Beats that you sit on your lap as you ride.
No,
Just
no,
something
it's
better
in
than
the
that.
dash. It's on the dash.
put it on the
Serves
dash.
its purpose. I
That's
can
G.
see it
That's
from
G.
here.
Yeah, you
I
can
can
see
see
it.
it.
It's right there
Yeah.
on the dash.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but
Entire system sitting on that
take
dash.
a picture of that.
The entire system.
It's actually kind of loud.
Yeah.
Because
Does the
where I
job.
put it, it reverberates.
I was
off
going to
the
say,
window.
you're in a cabin, so, I mean, that thing is massive.
It's pretty loud for what it is. But.
well, it's awful late, and I'm tired. Y'all had me working too much.
Man.
What?
Listen, I had to man the jack. I'm tired.
He did more work today
Tim
than he
about
did
to jump
yesterday.
over this.
Yeah,
Tim
for
about to
sure.
jump over this
Sure,
table
we
right
appreciate-
damn
we appreciate
now.
all of that.
Tim yesterday, last night, we were here late.
Tim's
He's
the
like,
real
"Get out of my
MVP.
shop."
Tim's covered in grease. And he's like, all right, let's just park it. We'll finish it up tomorrow. He's like, no. I'm like, Tim's kicking us out. You know, I don't know if you realize that, but the man is tired.
He
He's
said,
going to bed.
I think what Tim said is he's done and we need to pack it up. Because the way he made it sounded is like, well, we can handle this in the morning. It's too much of a pain. And I'm like, no, I can handle it right here. And then Trent goes, so what I think Tim was saying is, I'm tired. We're done for the night.
I'm just gonna have to start saying that to Dean.
Get
It's
out.
Like you have
You
to
gotta
be
be
direct.
blunt with
And
him.
then I
Very
put the
direct.
pieces
We're
down.
done
I was
here.
like,
It's time for you to leave.
oh, okay.
We're
I
done.
get it.
I'm terrible at reading people. That's part of my disorder. But I picked that up when he grabbed the handy wipe. He's like, all right.
If it's
Will.
midnight on a Tuesday, we're probably about ready.
He's cleaning up. He's cleaning up, and he's like, all right, we'll just finish this up tomorrow. No. He's not asking.
I'm on my back. I got the tools.
tired.
He's like, I think Tim's
But he's
saying
tired,
what
yeah.
Tim's trying to say is he's done. Get out.
Yeah.
Tim said, "Get the anyway."
Well, we had what Jason was here last night, right?
Yeah.
And his wife texted him, "It's past your curfew."
Yeah.
That was an hour before Tim kicked us all
You know,
out.
when I was younger, I used to say nothing good happened after 2 a.m. And nowadays it's like nothing good happens after 10. It's-
Well, I'm
Facts.
excited. I know it's not going to be the next episode, but here coming up in the next few episodes, hopefully we'll be able to touch base on this again. I would love to see and hear a nice little audio system in that thing.
So would I. I got to reach out to Brandon, see what's
Things
available,
to look forward to in the future.
see what my budget is.
Yep.
all right.
Anyway, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Lifted, Lowered, and Confused podcast. Let us know in the comments about your struggles with any projects. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
So you.